This is Rand. He's on my channel quite a few times talking about killing Canada and killing Canadians and killing his mom and killing a lot of other people that owe him millions and trillions and billions. I looked around for the lady who usually helps him out Monday. I didn't see her car. I am going to go in just a minute. Well, more than a minute because this video is like 13 minutes long. I started it because he was talking about Fred Myers and getting kicked out there and talking about killing people in Canada. And I tried to defuse the situation.
Excuse me, sir. Could I possibly mug you for all of your cash? Got nothing on me now, walking around this way. I was out here yesterday panhandling, made enough to put some gas in my car.
Yep, true story.
Red Mark kicked me out of there.
It's a place called Care.
Hey, no, we don't. We're all right. This American government can get lost. I don't.
Alright, so with that, hold on a second. Alright, that'll work. I'm actually going to turn my Bluetooth on. And I'm going to... fuck, that hurts.
Power on, period.
We'll see if this works so that it's easier to hear, because there's parts of it where it's difficult to hear what he's saying.
Connected.
Alright. We'll see if this works.
They owe me 900 trillion grand, and I don't like the wireless telephone or anything that I own in this country. The gas stations and everything else. I want cash money off of these people, and I want them to be happy, otherwise forget it. That care place can go down there and murder people somewhere else.
Alrighty then.
When you work for the government, you'll find that out.
I did.
Yeah, well, I did too, and I got a nice bullet in me from it. Dumb fuck. Those broads think they can fucking run the fucking world, and I'm gonna fucking start punching them with lights out.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome.
You good?
Yeah,
my fucking mother.
I have my moments
shit out of me for fucking too much money, and you're one of her fucking friends. I don't like you.
You know, I have my moments too.
Yeah, well, I have that kind of shit. Women walk up and fucking try to tell me what to do, fucking give bitches all the way through.
Men do it too, and I'm not a real big fan of anybody doing it.
My sisters and my mom are into that.
Alright, I do apologize for pointing out that men do it too. I realize that I, as a man, am not helping my cause by admitting that men screw up as well. I just think that it's important to point that out. These are things that both men and women do. It's not just his mother and his sister. There's also the fact that, you know, it's hard to... Well, I don't need to explain it. We'll just press play.
Women live shit, and you want to get your ass kicked with such women live. They'll rob you blind and throw you in the grave. Hey, tax brothers.
You willing to sell a cigarette for $1? Thanks, sir.
I'm leaving the fucking country into this month now. Coming down there. That fucking woman friend over there in Canada. I'm gonna fucking wring his fucking neck so bad it isn't funny. fucking world right now, and he ain't fucking turning himself in. And I'm gonna make him fucking turn it over.
Who's that?
Canada. They own the radio in this telephone. They think their fucking shit don't stink. Well, we own the fucking goddamn DVD picture, the thing that made the picture in this telephone. They got no right to fucking goddamn not pay for that. They want to pay for the radio. They can pay for that fucking goddamn fucking camera shit. China are thoroughly pissed at him. Why China's at war. Canada's ripping off circuitry, they're ripping off fucking goddamn camera equipment, DVD equipment, fucking, they're even fucking trying to fucking swashbuckle, that's why China and Taiwan are at it. They're trying to swashbuckle the fucking goddamn little microchip out of it. Microchip, DVD, and the radio, they're all in trouble.
So I suppose you and Yang are planning on meeting up in Singapore then?
She's gonna meet me here or I'm gone. This month. Next month I'll be gone. She's $500 to get her on the plane.
You do that every month.
I'm going to pause it there to explain who Yang is. Yang is one of these folks who pretends like she is going to marry this, well, Randy. And the picture that he keeps showing me is of some tiny, petite girl. I mean, she's apparently like 23 or something like this, but the thing is, she's a scammer. She strings him along because he pays her money. He pays her a lot of money. He sends her about $1,000. He panhandles out here and makes about $1,000 a month that gets spent on Kohl's cards and JCPenney cards and stuff like that down at Fred Meyer's, there at Safeway. And he does it all the way from Lincoln City all the way on up to Astoria. I mean, he travels around a lot doing this. If he stays in one area too long, then people don't give him as much money. But most of it is getting sent to a lady who's apparently a South Korean, but she's also an American, and she's also from Singapore. I've got him recorded on my channel probably about a dozen times, and he usually talks about killing people. He's also one of the witnesses to the situation with Molly. You see where getting him on the stand would be an issue, or his credibility at all as far as the situation goes, because he's got some bullshit going on in Canada. Anyway, it's a scammer ripping him off, and yeah, it's not any good for him. It's not any good for any of us.
Every month you send her money because she's going to come next month.
This is the last month he has. If he doesn't show up this month, then I'm gone. And the thing is the fucking government put $40 billion in South Korea because of the Yang. You know what? They could do without their $40 billion plus more. It's gonna cost them fucking goddamn 900 trillion grand. And you know, when I leave this country, the Indians are gonna owe me a fucking $1 trillion. You know how much $1 trillion is? It's more fucking money than you can fucking circle the earth with for the rest of your life. $1 trillion is the most money measured that you can fucking ever.
Daniel is talking like that in the river.
That's about the size of the axe. She'll look about like that.
Tiny?
That's the one. Yeah, I'm out of here, man. I'm fucking through with it. I wanted to put Yang on because her grandmother has a murder charge against my mother, and I can fucking prove it. Yang's grandmother said those people murdered you. I fucking got a hold of the gang, saw that picture and remembered everything. My mother, if I get a hold of her at any point in time, she's dead. I'll fucking wipe her off the face of the earth. Fucking dirty fucking bitch. Murder their children for money in this country.
Pretty common.
Yeah, it's pretty well written too. Korea wrote that to us. I'm surprised Japan did. Wrote that. He received that Dr.
Most of the time, when an adult kills a child, it's one of the parents. Most of the time. 62% of the time, it's one of the parents. God, I wish I could get this thing working.
Yeah, it don't really work on mine most of the time.
I'm an idiot.
I got 2 telephones now.
I don't know. I think.
I'm out of here today. I'm going to take the day.
Yes, sir. Oh my God. A cute little puppy across the street.
I gotta get $500 for a fucking plane ticket. I had to spend like $165 just for phone bills this morning.
That was pretty expensive. I had to pay for 2 phones.
Now I need $500 again.
It's all labor.
Somebody's ass.
I hope not.
Well, if gang doesn't show up, I will. That's the only cover they got. I need her a diplomatic witness and her fucking diplomacy and friendship. Live with her. Otherwise, I'm fucking dead. Anything I do, whatever I do. They wake me up with their voices every fucking morning, chasing me down the fucking road, fucking telling me fucking threats. Social Security, we're not hooking. I said, unhook the motherfucker. It doesn't pay me nothing. I can make money without it. You know what I mean? All that shit went down the drain to their fucking goddamn fucking trick up their sleeve.
Well, I figure since you're flying us.
They would give me an apartment.
There was a lady who helps me on Mondays.
They tampered with my records so I can't get an apartment. They tampered with my money so it doesn't stay in my pocket. Yeah, I've had a fucking enough. I gotta go catch the bus and get a pack of cigarettes and go to Lincoln City and try to make a living.
Yes, sir.
Now, mind you, he sends literally $1,000 a month to Yang.
These armed robbers that are doing this shit to us, I'm gonna fucking, if I get away with what I think I can up there, and rob the bank, I'm gonna come down here and plant those guys in the grave with that money, just like they're doing with me. They're using that government money to plant me in the fucking grave to get away with industrial fucking affairs. Ha ha ha. I'm going over there, this is $1 trillion they owe me in this country. Yeah, that's the daily double now. 900 trillion grand and $1 trillion. Fuck that shit. You know, that Indian had no right to fucking gamble with that Canadian in that bar that he did. He bet me I couldn't do something. And I told him I could, but don't do it, you'll lose. And he didn't listen to me, and they bound and tied me and fucking made me play that roulette game, and I won. You know what? He never paid. $1 trillion. I bet you $1 trillion you can't do that. And I said, I can do it, but don't do it. You'll lose. And then he fucking did it anyway. He'd tail a gram of fucking chocolate off the pool table. The white chocolate. Roll it up in a matchbook and tail it down here along the neck, tail it. And survive it. Yeah, they tied my hands behind my back, put his matchbook, plugged my nose, stuck it in my mouth, and made me inhale it. And I I inhaled it and I went over there and blew it all over the fucking goddamn table he was sitting at. Said, now you owe me $1 trillion. All the people at the bar got up, get out of the bar right now. I said, fuck you, you owe me fucking $3 trillion. Get the fuck out of here, we'll kick your ass. Fine, I go out, then the police arrest me and they park all this noise down in their tape recorder and ignore the fact. Just like they did it. Oh, we need 100 trillion grand to build a wireless telephone. Next thing I know, I got a bullet in my head trying to stop them from fucking doing 9/11 to get the money. Right at the Iraq War. 1989, 1990. In Alaska. They sent me up there for problems. They tried to kill him.
All right, well, I'm sure you get the point. If it's not people that are schizophrenic or temporarily schizophrenic because of drug use, then it's family or friends of schizophrenic, or it's police officers looking the other way and pretending I'm a schizophrenic. Art Sloan typed a message that she then retracted. You see the difference between somebody who's schizophrenic and delusional and somebody who is high-functioning autistic here. Obviously, I'm not talking about the Illuminati or aliens like Nick does. I'm not talking about vampires like Nick does. I'm not talking about Canadian DVD players and stuff attached to my phones. Although I've had a lot of people that was kind of my first clue that they were schizophrenic. Oh, Art Sloan typed, I said he sounds schizophrenic. Very much so. I've been recording this stuff for 11 months now. I met him my first or second day here. Do I sound schizophrenic to you, Art Sloan? That's one of the things about people not understanding the difference between schizophrenia and autism. And a lot of people don't understand the difference between low-functioning autism and having Asperger's. Asperger's is not the same thing as autism. It's certainly not the same thing as low-functioning autism. The reason that they were... Art Sloan typed, you sound cognizant. Yes, indeed. There's a lady on my channel. Her name is Marcia Estrada. And one of my videos, sorry, I'm looking at something over in the distance. One of my videos, it's Marcia Estrada, LIMHP, and it's one of our sessions. You can tell which one it is at all the Marcia Estrada videos because the front cover for it is a piece of paper written by her, or typed out by her and sent to my email, faxed and sent to me, I should say. Anyway, I took a picture of it and I used it for the front cover. It's one of the sessions with Marcia Estrada where she explains that I'm not schizophrenic, that I'm not bipolar, that I do have PTSD, that I am on the spectrum, she says, which is pretty common. A lot of people pretend that a disabled person, if they're able to speak the English language, then they can't be disabled. Art Sloan typed, I told my grandson's stepdad to stop calling him Lenny. He blocked me. Yes, ma'am, that is very common. I get that quite often. When I set boundaries for me, I'm quite often blocked. Or I'm ignored until I literally treat them the way they treat me, and then they're certainly not happy. Now, as you might have noticed, I do stick up for a lot of people who are schizophrenic. I also grew up in the system. I'm pretty good at telling if someone's schizophrenic, or if someone is autistic, or if someone has severe PTSD, or if someone's on drugs. But sometimes there's a fine line and a thin line there. Because one thing that people don't generally notice is that a lot of the signs for drug use and drug abuse are also the same as long-term abuse. If you've been abused long-term, you will exhibit the same traits. Some of those are also considered autistic traits. Well, they're not. They're PTSD traits. There's also individualistic traits, such as comorbids. A large percentage of people with Asperger's or autism in general do have Tourette syndrome or echolalia or OCD. But for people to pretend that they're schizophrenic because they think differently, because they speak differently. You know, there's a lot of people out here like Claire. When Claire is in a state of crisis, it's hard to make heads or tails of what she's saying. But if you stop and you listen, she calms down a bit and she explains better. If you interrupt her a whole bunch, well, it's just like interrupting me a whole bunch. But we both have Asperger's. We also both have trauma from long-term abuse. And no, we did not grow up together. No, she did not experience very much abuse with me here. And I didn't experience very much abuse with her here. But there was enough abuse, including her kids getting taken, that it is pretty important to show what's up. Art Sloan typed, he calls him other crap too, like retard, cretin, and dumb. Yeah, that's pretty common. I remember you now. It's because the last time that you were typing that stuff, the dude who has the Ted Burner account / Ted Turner account started typing at me a bunch of stuff about how I'm a cretin and started calling me Lenny and stuff like that. So yeah, I do remember who you are. The problem is I have no one to speak up for me. None of us do. Beyond our own families, most of our families don't understand well enough to know that they need to speak up for all of us, not just fight for the little bit of time that they'll have with their kid while they're here. A lot of people know that once they're dead, their kid, or adult by that point, because autism doesn't just magically disappear when you turn 18. When these parents die, their kids get locked up, and that's as simple as it is. Or their adult gets locked up. All because of people's assumptions of autism and people's assumptions of abuse, and very much people's assumptions of who it is that can and cannot be abused. So the fact that your grandson is a grandson who's autistic means that people aren't really going to care that he's autistic. They're going to care that he's your grandson. And very much he will be held accountable for his actions, even if he is antagonized and bullied into such actions, or lied to, or had professionals infer certain things that of course they're not allowed to infer. But somebody who is impressionable, or someone who is scared, someone who is in a desperate situation, they want to believe you. They want to believe the person with the badge. They want to believe the person with the letters behind their name. But the fact is, as a disabled person in America, you have to have a friend or family member go in with you, or you're just a dollar sign. Like the police here, for example. If you're poor enough, they just send you to mental health. Now, both of these peoples, the police and the mental health places that we're sent to, are supposed to be mandated reporters. That means they have a legal job to do. But what do they do instead? Well, they know that it's going to take between 2 and 5 hours to do all of the stuff that is necessary to do their jobs as mandated reporters. Now, when you figure they're setting up therapy for 50 minutes, and then 10 minutes in between each therapy session, well, 5 hours out of their day means that 4 other people aren't going to get their therapy session, And if those 4 other people don't get their therapy session, number one, it's going to agitate those people. And number two, well, when you interrupt their schedules, they don't get to write down that they did their jobs as therapists for those other people. So they don't get that money. Now, if those other people happen to be drug addicts, which is the primary recipients of these programs, drug addicts, there's a lot of people out here who are not drug addicts, who are the victims of the drug addicts. That makes it a pain. There's a lot of people out here who have disabilities that mask themselves in ways that are not pleasant. I have Tourette syndrome. The more scared I am, the more my Tourette sticks out like a sore thumb. And the more it sticks out like a sore thumb, the more you pretend I'm on drugs. Fuck it, right? People tell me I just need to let it go. No, I don't. I need to educate people so they stop fucking killing us over this shit. I mean, literally killing us. And sorry if I keep looking around like I'm aloof. I'm actually looking at the ground for cigarette butts and also for anything that'll go through a car tire, because I do have a car. It does have tires. And I do drive down the street here. Anyway, Art Sloan, I told you my email address in the last video that you were talking to me in, so I can give it to you again. I really could use somebody to speak up and advocate. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stuff that I've done that is illegal and stuff that is quote-unquote wrong, W-R-O-N-G. But in the context of the situations, none of those things were wrong. If you break a car window, you broke the law. If you broke the car window to save a baby, well, you did not break the law, you saved a life. And a lot of the situations that I've been in and spoken up about since before Natalie's death, the ones that I was heard, something positive was actually done, despite the fact that I had to do some pretty crazy shit to get it done. After 6 phone calls to the cops when I was in Rawlins, Wyoming, about the abuse against those children, none of those 6 calls made any difference. Meanwhile, other people in the trailer park there also made 3 calls on their own. So that's a grand total of 9 phone calls. You know what it ended up taking? I literally had to go to where Rihanna worked. She worked at a gas station, and I pulled the garbage out of 2 of the garbage cans and set the garbage bags on the ground. I also threw a coffee cup against the ground. Yep, she claimed I didn't pay for the coffee. I most certainly did. She told me that I could have the coffee. But she wasn't going to stop hitting the kids, so that's when I chucked it. I also threw $7 on the ground. So I paid $7 for that coffee. Yep. I also ended up getting my vehicle towed and was not able to get it back because I was too broke. It happens. You still there, Art Sloan? Oh my God. I'm gonna take over my shoelaces. Tillamook cops are here. Something must have happened. Hopefully nobody got hurt. Anyway, the beginning of this video has that guy here talking all that craziness. And it does freak me out. You know, I don't have any problems trying to figure out why it is people have an issue with that. I have an issue with it. I have an issue with all of these people wanting to talk about killing people all the time. When I try to tell them about the situation I'm in, they're too busy talking over me. When I ask them if they were in this situation, what would they do? They usually do not talk about calling the police first. Most people talk about shooting people first, or killing people, or beating people up. Meanwhile, I hate violence. I hate violence. Now I got a question for you. There's a child, right? A grown man goes up and punches that child in the face, and you say, hey, stop that, it's not okay. So, he punches the child in the face again, stares right at you when he does it. You say, hey, stop hitting that kid, it's not okay. So he punches the kid again. And you say, hey, stop hitting that kid, it's not okay. And he hits the kid again, and you say, hey, stop hitting that kid again. All right, I'm tired of telling you, stop hitting that kid. And he hits the kid again. How many times you gonna let him hit that kid before you fucking step in and goddamn do something? Obviously, words ain't doing shit. Obviously, your words are being heard. They're being used as an excuse to harm an innocent person. Oh, you made me do it. 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 No, I didn't force anybody's hand, but plenty of people forced mine. For me, having to deal with so many threats, so much violence, having to be out here with a lot of people that really are schizophrenic, trying to look out for them while being afraid of so many of them, and then getting treated like I'm one. And then because nobody's really going to listen to them, I have to depend on a lot of the other folks out here on the streets, most of whom are on drugs, which is difficult because I don't do drugs. If anything happens, well, I'm the first person that they're going to throw away because I'm not going to get them drugs. They know I'm not going to get them drugs. We don't hang out together because I don't do drugs with them. That's kind of the nature of the beast. In Chapel, Nebraska, I had some friends of mine that were friends before they got into methamphetamines. When they got into methamphetamines, we weren't friends anymore. It gets to the point where people do so many drugs that they're not them anymore. They're just the drugs. A lot of people on drugs, they may have good intentions. They may promise to do a lot of things, but the thing is, it's the pull of the drugs that stops them from keeping their word. You know, they think they'll be all right for a couple hours worth of work, but then they show up and they're jonesing immediately. There's a lot of people that when I explain I'm getting taken advantage of by drug addicts out here, they want me to feel bad for the drug addicts and tell me things like, oh, well, they don't know what they're doing, or they can't help it because they're addicts. But none of that stops the abuse, does it? Making excuse for the people who did that does not stop it. It doesn't prevent them from doing it to others. And that's why there's supposed to be consequences. And that's why if I do something, I absolutely do it publicly. I make sure that it's documented. I make sure that if I have to break a window, so to speak, that I admit to it immediately, that I don't hide it. If I gotta curse at somebody's sweet old grandma in order to save somebody's life, I'm willing to yell at somebody's sweet old grandma. I'm also willing to scream at a sweet old grandma to save that sweet old grandma's life. Maybe she can't hear too good without her hearing aid. Maybe she's about to step in front of a big old truck, and maybe it's not going to be able to stop in time to not flatten her like a fucking pancake. Probably a good idea if she looked like she's about to lunge forward in front of the goddamn thing that you yell at that sweet old lady. Sure, it could be construed as disturbing the peace, possibly even a noise ordinance violation. But the reality is, you just prevented someone's sweet old granny from stepping in front of a goddamn Mack truck.